So here are the patterns of development that we will discuss in these videos. And again, these are in your yellow pages if you want to turn there and look at the questions that go along with each of these. The first one we'll talk about is narration. So the three main questions that go along with narration are what happened, when did it happen, and where did it happen. Narration is basically telling a story or giving an account of an event. This is part of many essays, and writers often tell an anecdote or a short narrative or story to make a point or even to support their argument. And even when essays are entirely narration, the events of the story normally lead to some other conclusion. Storytelling can be really effective, basically for the simple reason that people love to hear stories. And even when your primary goal is to write something to inform, analyze, argue, a narrative paragraph can be effective in establishing a connection to the reader. So here is an example of a narration paragraph. And this is from Mark Twain's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. He says, I took up the river road as hard as I could put. By and by I began to hear guns a good ways off. When I came in sight of the log store and the wood pile where the steamboats lands, I worked along under the trees and brush till I got to a good place. And then I clumb up to the forks of a cottonwood that was out of reach and watched. There was a wood rank 4 foot high, a little ways in front of the tree, and first I was going to hide behind that, but maybe it was luckier I didn't. So that's an example. So a story takes place over a period of time. It's built around people doing things like talking, thinking, running, etc. Therefore, narrative paragraphs are characterized by words that show action and sequence. Action and sequence, action and sequence, okay? For the most part, a logical sequence of action supplies this narrative sequence. So from this example, I took off, I heard guns, I worked along under the tree. These linear arrangements of sentences make the reader assume that the actions take place in sequence. However, here and there, transitions are needed to emphasize important time relationships, such as the phrase by and by. So some common transitional expressions used in narrative writing are meanwhile, eventually, soon, later, first, second, then, finally, also, besides, furthermore, moreover, in addition, and to.